one of the best plans that we can have for you to be successful in 2022. Okay, this is it. This whole system of really getting down into the 12 weeks and focusing on every aspect of the 12 weeks. So let's talk about the disciplines that you need to have for this execution system that you have to have. All right. So in the 12-week year, the number one discipline is vision. Okay. Now we all know this. We heard about it. I'm not a big fan of these gimmicky things. I'm sorry, guys, but I'm not. I've seen people do a vision board and never get whatever they want. Okay. It's like a romper room exercise, all the adults cutting pictures out, and it never happens. Okay. I'm sorry, but that's just, I've seen it for hundreds of years. Okay. But it's your vision, right? And here's what's interesting about the vision. It has to be compelling, and it has to create a clear picture for you. It has to have an emotional connection. And I think at times when we cut out these pictures and we put it on, it's a nice thing, and you don't believe you can get it. And all of a sudden it never happens, and you wonder why. So let's just get real here. For instance, if you've got to put a certain amount of money in the bank for some type of emotional reason, we need to do that. If you want to give to the church, whatever you want to do, if there's an emotional connection, it's going to work. Okay, it's going to work. The problem is that we don't believe that we can do this, and that's why we don't get it. So I need for you to understand that your vision must have an emotional connection to it. All right. Stop me if you have any questions. Okay. Next, we're talking about planning. Okay. So you have vision. This is for next year. And let's just deal with the first 12 weeks. What's the vision and an emotional connection just for 12 weeks? And I need to clarify that because it's not for the whole year, just for 12 weeks. What is that vision? What do you want to do? What do you see yourself getting totally emotionally attached to? Okay. Number two is planning. The actions needed to achieve the vision. So now you've got this great vision of whatever you want to do. And I've got the same vision, not the same vision yours, but the same idea. I got to have this vision, right? And then I have to put in the planning, the actions needed to achieve the vision. Okay. So we know that we want a certain amount of business. So if you're creating the same action as you did last year, that's what I want you to erase whatever you've done in the past, whatever you've done. And I want you to wipe the slate clean and create a new plan. The actions needed to achieve the vision that you see yourself capture. For instance, for some of you, I said, hey, double that number that you have. Just double it. Is that emotion? Does that get you emotionally excited if you double that number? I mean, a lot of times our goals or targets that we want to hit are not that exciting. I just want to make the same amount of money, or I just want to, or maybe it's time off. Maybe it's more time off, making a lot more money with a lot more time off. I mean, I can get emotionally attached to that one big time. Okay. Doing a whole lot more. So what is that action that you need to have that happen? Okay. We'll talk about that. And then you need process control, vision, planning, and process control for 12 weeks. These are tools and events that align your daily actions. So for instance, process control, let's think about that. Your time is spent in income generating activities. So process control means that you're spending time in 5 areas. If you're an agent, the ISAs are making calls. So for just a couple seconds here, let me talk to an agent. And here are the things that you've got to be doing, right? You've got to be prospecting. You've got to be presenting. You've got to be negotiating. You've got to do lead follow-up and closing. So which is interesting, the only thing here on this list that an ISA doesn't have to do is really negotiating. They do have to prospect, they do have to present, they've got to lead follow, and they got to close for that appointment. So 80% of your day, 80% of your day needs to be involved in these 5 activities as an agent, or these 4 activities if you're an ISA, 80%. And that's process control to have these 3 things working for you. I want you to do it like you've never done it before, whatever that may be. Your time is spent in income generating activities. What could be a distraction to income generating activities? Anybody want to share that one with me? What could be not an income generating activity that typically takes you off into la la land? Anybody?
Well, for me, it's like admin things when we have to jump in or somebody's, having a bad day, or it's just admin. We've got to be there for our team when they're down. So that was some loss this last year, I know for me, but yeah, admin things that.
So does that kind of break in, Mandy? Does that jump into like you're doing something, you're on it, and then this thing breaks in, which is an admin thing that I guess you're off your schedule because of that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So then the question is, let's think about a solution to that issue. If we can control it, we got to use common sense sometimes. We got to do what you got to do. But what would you do differently this year to control that?
Well, I have a tendency to jump in when I don't necessarily, I could wait for them to jump in.
Okay. All right, good. So, I mean, like a fellow agent in the office? Is that what you're saying?
No, not a fellow agent, like TC tasks. That would be a good example.
All right, good. Okay, this is one of my challenges I have with the leaders of teams too, is that it's easier a driver to, I'll just do it. I'll just take care of it, right? Or just because you're fast. A way of training someone is to ask them the question, hey, how would you handle it? I mean, what do you think you ought to do here? Like one of my biggest pet peeves for anybody that works with me as an admin is to come into my office and say, we got a problem. Without a solution, don't even bother coming in my door. All right, because I hate that we got a problem. It's always something like sounds like it's major. Hey, come in, give me some solutions. Or maybe they came in and said, we got a problem. What kind of solutions can we come up with in this situation? And then here's what we do. They come up with one, but I would ask the question AWE, and what else? And what else? That's a powerful question. AWE is very powerful when you're trying to get as much out of someone's brain. And what else could we possibly do here?